things, and Luke Jackson's up there with one of the best guys I've ever trained, and the professionalism. I mean, just look what he's done. He's an amazing human being. Just the love he's got, the passion for the sport is second to none. We have worked with the who's who of Australian boxing, and let me tell you, when it comes to dedication and commitment and professionalism, Luke's up there easily with all of them.
Making his way to the boxing ring for his Olympic debut is Australia's Luke Jackson.
My name's Luke Jackson, and this is my boxing story. You know, when people ask me about my childhood, what's the first thing that comes to mind? The first thing that comes to mind is chaos. Absolute chaos. I just remember, there's a few things I remember, you know, running out of the house, being outside and having to put socks on our hands because it's cold, you know, sleeping outside. And like, I still don't know to this day why I was even running out of the house, but there was obviously some problem going on there. I remember when I was a kid, I used to pull this right down, and like, it was too short to like grab it. Like Bruce Lee movies, Chuck Norris movies, always watching that sort of stuff as a kid. And then I'd go outside and pretend that I was fighting against 20 men. This is where, you know, you had that exciting feeling. You wake up in the morning, yeah, you go and do your presents. That's where I had it, in this lounge room. So it's good. A lot of memories in this lounge room, watching TV, and 6 sisters and 2 brothers. You know, me and Ellie were tight, man, real tight. We were 11 months apart. We grew up together, done all the mischief stuff together, started smoking weed together, cigarettes together. We done it all together. So little and so young, but I was addicted to marijuana. Man, if I couldn't get it, you know, go off my head, man. Like, for such a little kid, I had the biggest temper, and, you know, I'd steal money off people. I didn't care, because I just wanted my drugs, you know. And then when I didn't have it, the whole house knew. It'd be going off my head, wouldn't I? Bad.
Yeah.
I remember getting an acid trip. I stole money off Amber and Darran. Me and Ellie, we had half each, and I remember watching TV. I'm like, it hasn't hit yet, what's going on? And then I just started laughing, like, and obviously the drugs just started having an effect on me. And then Amber's come up and she's like, where's our money? And I'm just laughing at her. I'm thinking, like, you know, just stole money off her, and I'm laughing in her face because that high. Didn't care, you know, it's just fucking... You know, the only thing I'd change out of my whole life is that I finished fucking school. Because it affects you, you know, like, I can read and write, I'm quite intelligent, you know, I'm life smart, you know, I know a lot of, you know a lot about life. If I could change one thing, it'd be that. Make sure you finish school. And I'm fucking, like, if I ever have kids, I'll make sure they finish school. Like, for so long as a kid, I didn't like being told what to do when I was on the drugs and that. I hated it. And like getting suspended. Police rang to the school, and as a kid, I mean, you take it all in your stride, you don't really care, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're thinking about it as it comes. I remember like being, like, I just wasn't at home. I just remember not being at home, and one thing that just keeps coming back to my mind, I remember I was in a paddock with my sister Ellie. We're walking in a paddock, and I had gumboots on it, like, I was only young. It's weird how you remember things as a kid, but I just remember something about this place, and it was on like a farm somewhere. I remember getting dropped there, and we stayed there a few nights, or I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know if it was 2 nights, 3 nights, a month, a year, but I just remember this, being in a paddock. It was like it was real muddy. We're walking, and like this big like bull started chasing us. And like, I started running, and my gumboots got stuck in the mud. And I just like left my gumboots there and ran and jumped over the fence. But I remember that as a young kid, and then being on the phone to my mum, and it's just saying, when am I coming home? When am I allowed to come home? It's just something that sticks in my mind, man. Very strange. I'm sure we all used to get thrown around to different places. I remember going up to one of my friend's houses once. I didn't want to go there, so like, I didn't want to go. And then I ran back home, and I ran in the house. I was there. I said, Mum, I'm here. And then she's like, get back up there. Then my sisters tied me in a pram. They tied me in a pram and took me up there, and I didn't want to stay there. The only reason I stayed there is because the lady that was looking after me said, you can sleep in your clothes in the bed. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, the story sounds so stupid, but it's something I remember clearly. I mean, like, all I wanted to do was be at home with my mum or my dad. I don't know where either of them were, to be honest with you. When you're a kid, man, all you want is love. You just want to love your mum and love your dad, you know. But then I moved in with dad, and life definitely got better from then on. And, you know, I love my mum to death, and I love my dad to death. I think I've got both good traits off them and bad traits, and it wasn't easy for them, so, you know, I don't blame them for nothing, man. I remember moving in with my dad wasn't something that you wanted to happen. Do I blame my mum and dad for breaking up and not having a family there? No way, not at all. So I wish that the family stayed together and everything was fucking rosy with a white picket fence and a fucking green grass. Yeah. Of course, but that's not life, man. I just know if I ever have a family, I want it to stay together. I don't want that for my kids. You know, I want my kids to have a mum and a dad. But we'll see, man. We'll see what the future holds. You know, when I finally started boxing, that's when I started taking some discipline and being told what to do, and that's when my life turned around. I always had a thing about boxing. I met a young guy named Chris Polly, Nathan Polly. Went along and done some training with him, and pretty much picked it up pretty quick, because, you know, when I come from Clarenville, you know, you gotta learn how to fight pretty quick down there. It's just picture in the Mercury. My first picture that was made in the Mercury in the newspaper, me and Nathan Polly.
Luke was the first to arrive in '85.
Yeah, where's the t-shirt? Is there a t-shirt? Holy shit. See if I stash any money or drugs in there. So here we are, my first primary school, John Paul II. The church, all the holy stuff, you know. I used to fall asleep in there. I don't know what I believe. I pray to God. I remember praying to God. Prayed to God every day for about 6 years if I made the Olympic Games. He let me make the Olympic Games, afterward I'll die. Just let me go home, eat, let me spend some time with my family and that, and then I'll die. I've done my life. My life goal was the Olympic Games. Obviously believe in something. I have my rosary beads that my priest has christened, but I just remember sitting in there as a young kid. I used to fall asleep in there, so. We'll go down, there's a little tunnel down here. This is where I used to go down and smoke cigarettes and smoke some bongs. You know, I'm talking grade 5, man, grade 4. You know, my backpack was bigger than me. I'm not that tall now, let's be honest, but I was tiny, man. Used to come down here and smoke bongs and cigarettes, and, you know, he hasn't changed much down here, that's for sure. Like, all drugs are bad, let's be honest, but marijuana is the type of drug that just, it gives you no motivation. You don't want to do anything, you don't want to work, and I remember when I was doing it, then I dropped out of school, because we moved from here, we went up to Glenorchy. Went to Cosgrove High, and then I dropped out in grade 7. I remember just laying in bed every morning. Dad used to come in, Luke, get up, Luke, get up, and I'd just ignore him, pretend I was asleep. And then he stopped asking, he stopped coming in, so then I was just doing nothing, just being a bum. And then he goes, right, if you're gonna do that, then you gotta come to work. It was tough, man, tough job, but look, that's what I had to do. Definitely happy that I'm not in the same position as I used to be. Yeah, fuck. Not much good comes from this place, like for my memories anyway. This area here is where I grew up. The bus mall was where I hung out a lot. I went to Cosgrove High, so I always walked down, smoking weed, drinking piss, smoking cigarettes, coming here, still out of Target all the time, still out of Coles, getting in fights, stealing off people. Northgate now, Glenorchy's, you know, it's a lot better. Back when we was growing up, it was a bit rough. The area is rough. There's a lot of drugs everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go, there's always going to be drugs. I don't think it's as bad as it used to be, but had some hard guys around when we was growing up. It's a tough area. There's a sports shop over there. Walk in, get 2 cricket bats, 1 cricket bat down this leg, 1 cricket bat down that leg. Obviously I had track pants on, and then walk out. I'm walking like this. So I had 2 cricket bats, and I couldn't bend my legs, and then I'm trying to put my leg over the bike. Then I'd sell the cricket bats and buy drugs with it. Everything was revolved around getting money for drugs. You know, that's all that mattered. I didn't care about anything. For a while there, I was selling marijuana as well. I'd follow the guys I'd sell it to, watch where they put their bag with the drugs in it, and I'd steal the drugs back off them. So I'd sell them the drugs, and I'd go and steal the drugs off them, and then I'd smoke the weed myself. Crazy, man. You see a lot of people that you walk through here. You see heaps of people. It's good to see what they're doing with their life. They're better than themselves. But you also see people that are in the same position. The same position as what they were, you know, 10 years ago. They haven't changed. It's sad, man. Life's about choices, man. Luckily, I'm addicted to boxing. To be a good boxer, you have to dedicate yourself, and you have to eat right. You have to stay clean, stay off the drugs, stay off the alcohol. And I'm no saying, you know, it's about moderation. You can't be doing it every day, and you gotta try and find a balance. And everyone's got that ability to change their mindset and focus it on something good. it's hard work, man. You know, there's no such thing as talented or gifted or anything like that. It's hard work. Hard work's got me to where I am. No one give me nothing. But you know, you can't judge people. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why these guys are still here smoking and drinking and doing the same shit. Here we go. And a couple of coppers, mate. They're on to someone, you know. It's it, man. That's what happens day in, day out, you know. So I met that young kid, Chris Polly, at an underage nightclub. Come out to Claremont, picked it up pretty quick. It was just, I remember making a pretty big fuss about how quickly I picked it up. You know, back then Nathan and Chris were really good fighters, man. I respected them a lot and looked up to them a lot, and I learned a lot off them at the time. You know, to be told that from two guys that I looked up to was good. You know, I remember Chris saying, you know, that he feels sorry for the first guy that fights me, because the guy that had no amateur background before, you know, I picked it up pretty quickly. I had my first fight as a boxer in Norfolk. You know, I had a couple more fights and ended up losing my third fight. That's the first time I'd lost as a boxer, and I was like, this is not good. And I was still smoking weed and drinking and being a bit of a dickhead. So I decided not to smoke weed anymore and thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it properly. I don't want to get beat. You know, it wasn't until I lost that I actually thought, well, now I've got to start taking it serious. And I had to experience it to make me snap out of it. And from then on in, it took off for me, man. You know, 9 fights I was going to the Commonwealth Games as an amateur boxer, which is unheard of, you know. Won a bronze medal up behind me, you know, with 13 fights after the Commonwealth Games in 2006 in Melbourne. So that was an unreal moment, man. Fighting in front of 10,000 Australians at Melbourne Exhibition Centre.
It's the first round. Featherweight quarter-final between Uganda's Sharif Bagheeri and Australia's Luke Jackson.
Yeah, Luke Jackson, a very neat boxer, holds his hands high.
Jackson still to get on the scoreboard. That should do it. It does.
That was a very good right hand over the top of Bagheeri's left lead. That was that right hand from Luke Jackson. That was his best punch of the round. Huge Australian contingent here, obviously cheering on the Australian representative in the featherweight division.
57 kilo class. Jackson, relative novice Jackson. As I said, only been boxing a couple of years. He won the Tasmanian Championships. Not even after a year he took up the sport. Now it's level.
Oh, big right hand from Luke Jackson. That was the best punch of the fight.
Certainly be earning the Ugandans' respect.
Oh, and again, that's that right hand. The right hand's a winner. But the Ugandan was getting nailed with the right hand in particular from Luke Jackson in the second round.
There.
Yep.
Beauty. Dodo Andreas in the corner, bellowing out the instructions.
And Luke Jackson is another one of the Australian representatives with Kosciuszko as his idol. And that's understandable, because the Kosciuszko, one of the greatest fighters in history. Oh, that was a good left hook. That was a good left hook from the Australian.
Oh,
another
nice.
One. Yep. Left hook's working well now. Seeing those punches from Bagheeri, just made 3 miss.
Thrown to the canvas by the Australian. Crowd will count it down now, as is their wont. Jackson gets on his bike. Bagheeri tries to nail him. Not successful. There's the bell. And Jackson is the winner.
And the crowd love it.
Embraced there by Dodo Andreas, Australian coach. Luke Jackson gets the verdict of the 5 judges, and he advances to the semi-finals in the featherweight division, 57 kilos, here at Melbourne 2006.
You know, that's when it took off, and that's when I realised that, you know, maybe I can do something with it. And then I decided I want to make the Olympic Games, so I said to Dad I'm quitting my job, moving to Canberra. Got offered a scholarship at the Australian Institute of Sport, so I said I'm going to take it, 6 months, just leave everything. Never went back to work. I'm like, no, that's not for me, working in a fucking warehouse. Dedicated my life to the Olympic Games. I wanted to make it so bad that I put that much pressure on myself. I isolated myself, I think, a little bit too much. I just sit in my room and just think about the Olympics. If I wasn't there reading about it, I'll be watching on YouTube, and that's where all the problems started from there. Like, I isolated myself so much and I wanted it so bad that I put a lot of pressure on myself. I was expected to make the team after winning the Commonwealth Games bronze medal. I was expected to make Beijing, and I've beaten everyone in Australia, so I was expected to make it. And I used to keep a diary, and I've got them now. It's funny, you know, you look back at it and you read the diaries, and if it was anyone else writing it, and I'd read it, I'd say that kid needs help, you know, that kid's struggling. But at the time I didn't know what was going on, you know. I remember I used to write some things down and going, I don't feel good today. I used to sit in my room and obsess, and I didn't even know it at the time, but now, like, I read back through the diaries and I used to have an obsession to try and catch my breath. And if I couldn't catch my breath, I'd start stressing out about it, and it used to really frustrate me. It'd affect my sleeping. It'd affect everything. It'd affect your whole day. You'd get restless about it, and if you couldn't catch your breath, you'd get very frustrated, and you'd feel like when you're around people, they're watching you, trying to catch your breath, but they wouldn't even know what you're trying to do, you know. And I think me isolating myself so much away from my friends and family, obsessing so much about the Olympic Games, brought it all on. You know, I was obsessed with making the Olympics, and I believe that's what started the whole problems. I remember when I missed out on the Olympics, my captain at the time, Jared Fletcher, is a guy that I look up to a lot. You know, I aspired to be like him, and he even said to me after missing out that, you know, that I needed to relax a little bit, you know, like, obviously not straight away, he didn't tell me this, but, you know, we caught up a few months after missing out, and he said, you know, like all the boys used to say, like, Jacko's just putting too much pressure on himself, and he isolates himself too much, and he's not letting his hair down, and I was sending myself insane. And that place, AIS, you know, like, I've got some good memories there, but most of it's bad, because most of it was just me sitting in a room obsessing about making the Olympic Games, and you know, it's not a good place for any person to be, stuck inside your own head when you're like that. And the worst thing about it is I didn't ask for help because I didn't know what it was. I just put up with it, and I honestly don't know how I got through it, because there were some pretty bad days there. And you know, it's not till after I missed out in the Olympics that I actually went and seen a doctor, because I was to the point where I'd had enough. I'd absolutely had enough with life, and that's when I started to get some help. You brush it off. I remember right after I missed out on Beijing Olympics, I wrote down that, you know, it was all for nothing. You know, beat this guy 3 times and lost, so, you know, it's all for nothing. I've done it before, so I can do it again. Won my fight 19-6. I thought I boxed well. I've done some good things. Fleming won his fight, and I'll fight him tomorrow for the 4th time. I know I can beat him, so I just have to believe in it. Be smart, and you can get the win. I just have to have a good defense, don't give away any points, and be smart. I've beaten him 3 times before, so be confident, and I can do it again. This is a big one. I've worked so hard for this, and I'm going to win the gold medal today. I lost 8-4. I'm shattered. It's all over now. All this hard work for nothing. This is a medal that I won over there, the silver medal. It means a lot to me because the shit that I had to go through. I hate losing, but it's a pivotal point in my life where I, you know, had to turn it around.
Me and Jacko had a funny, I guess you can call it a rivalry, but there was no ill feeling. We always wished each other the best when we seen each other at tournaments, and, you know, always wanted it to be me and him in the final. You know what I mean? We met at the Commonwealth Games trials for Melbourne, and me and him met in the final, and he beat me there. And then we fought again the year later at the Aussie titles. He beat me there again, and then we had to fight off again for the Oceanias, and I made it through. Then it was me and Jacko at the Oceanias, both representing Australia, trying for a spot, and we both met in the finals, and unfortunately for Jacko, but fortunately for me, managed to beat him at them Aussie titles, and there was elation, I was happy, but also a bit sad for Jacko, you know, because I know how much he puts into this sport and how much love and he has for this sport. So I just knew how devastated he would have been not making them Olympics, and you know, my heart went out for him. You know, I felt happy at the same time. I felt, you know, disappointed for him.
When I went to Canberra, I got a guy named Bud Andreas, who's the head coach up there from East Germany. This guy broke me down mentally, physically, broke me down to nothing, you know, and built me back up into the man I am today. And I hated him at times, man. I hated him, and I respect him so much now because he'd done a lot for me. And, you know, I gained his respect too, because in the end we got such a good relationship that he invited me to his house for a coffee and stuff like that, and a talk outside of boxing. He was a very hard man. He used to call me Jacko a lot, and then when I become the team captain, he used to call me captain. You know, so he showed respect. If you give respect, you know, you get it in return, and that's what I've done. And he's one of the main inspirations that made me this person I am today, besides my father. Even Dad knows, like when I went away and then I come back, I was a different person. It's like I aged 10 years mentally.
I remember one time I was talking to Bodo, said to Bodo, what's his chances here? He said to me, he's the best student I've ever had. He said, but don't tell him that. That's how he was.
It was always hard to get a combo from Coach Bodo, but I earned his respect through working my ass off.
You know, I'll never forget when he said to me, he's my best student, but don't tell him. I remember that.
And he's the first one that I really actually started taking guidance off and discipline. See, like, I swear a lot, but I never swore in front of him. I was up there for 5 years, I never swore once in front of him. He never heard me swear, because I was always walking on eggshells, you know. Push you to the ground, break you, you're injured, you don't want to train, but you're scared to tell him that you can't train because you're injured. So you just keep going, make you feel like you're worthless. Like you're always trying to get a compliment out of him, but he never give it to you. Once I missed out on Olympics, they just, you know, they dropped me like I had nothing. I come from Samoa back to home, where I was living at Dad's. I was 25 years old, 26 years old, I had nothing, mate. I had a suitcase because I put my life into this, you know, trying to make the Olympic Games. And I missed out, and then I was like, these motherfuckers don't care about you. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So I started training in my dad's garage. Didn't even know what I wanted to do. After that I started getting on the piss again. And then I done a back injury. Got to the point where I had a stress fracture in my back because I kept ignoring it. Stress fracture in my L5. So the doctor goes, you can't train for 6 months. I'm like, mate, what do you mean? Training 2-3 times a day for the last 5 years, 6 years, you can't train for 6 months? What do you mean? So I couldn't do anything. So I was going out, getting in fights, drinking, just being a goose, being the person I didn't want to be. And then I met a girl, pulled my head in a bit. So what am I going to do, Dad? So Dad's like, well, you got to get yourself sorted. So I opened up a little asbestos business. I got a deposit and bought this place that I'm living in now. Brought myself a car and set myself up. And then my back started coming good, so I thought, oh, I'm going to go back to boxing now. And back in my mind, I wanted that Olympics still. It was in my mind. So we had Commonwealth Games trials coming up again, 2010. I went up a division, went up to 60. Used to fight at 57, went up to 60. Everyone said I wouldn't win, no chance. But I went over there and beat everyone, beat them easily. 60 kilos, Australian champion. So I was 57 Australian champion 3 times, and I was 60 kilo champion 3 times by the end of my career as an amateur. And I was going to the Commonwealth Games in Delhi, India, 2010 as a team captain.
Know what it's like to medal at a major tournament. As Barry just said, bronze for Jackson 4 years ago in Melbourne. Silver for Stalker at the European Championships in Moscow in Russia back in June. All in readiness. The first round, the winner to meet India's Jai Bhagwan in a semi-final. And of course the winner also guaranteed a medal. Jackson lets his hands go early.
Really, I mean, Stalker has a huge height and reach advantage, but Jackson throws lovely combinations.
Jackson got through and opens the scoring.
I was going to say he would have been unlucky if he didn't register there. Good combination punching. Jackson, an aggressive fighter. He walks within range and lets him go.
Jackson is the captain of the Australian boxing team. 3 Australians in action today, quarter-final day of the boxing championships. He missed the Beijing Olympics 2 years ago, heartbroken at that. He's also had to recover and come back from a stress fracture in his back, so he's done it tough. He's leading the Aussie charge here in Delhi.
Stalker looks so much bigger.
Jackson has come up in weight. Bronze medal in Melbourne 4 years ago at the featherweight limit of 57 kilos, now fighting at the 60 kilogram lightweight limit. Point apiece after the opening 3 minutes. The Ashes have come early. Australia versus England. Luke Jackson in the blue for Australia. It hasn't been a high-scoring tournament by any
right hand
stretch.
from Jackson, registers. Jackson attacking like a Tasmanian devil.
Where can Jackson find this next point from, Barry? Did he get through with the right? It was marginal.
Good right hand there from Jackson. Should have definitely registered. Jackson putting on stacks of pressure here in the third and final round. Maybe the lighter division was better suited to Luke Jackson because he really is giving away lots of advantages here.
Less than 30 seconds remaining. Jackson's been game and gallant. The lanky Englishman eliminates Luke Jackson, the captain of the Australian boxing team, 7 points to 2.
And a very, very valiant effort from the Australian captain, Luke Jackson, to go down on points.
You know, so I turned it around pretty quick, but I was obsessed. I was obsessed with making the Olympics so bad, and like it was always in my head. It's all I thought about every fucking day. This is my diary for the 2012 Olympics, so 4 years later. So a lot of stuff had to happen before I got to here. It just didn't happen from 4 years to 4 years. You had to win states, nationals, Oceanias. And I had 113 amateur fights, but 80 of them international fights. You know, and they're all senior fights. None of them against kids, none of them against juniors. They were 113 senior fights. I think you'll find it hard to find many boxers in Australia has had over 80 international fights. It says, today is the day I've been working for so long. 6 years I wanted this. I had a good sleep and weighed in good. Stick to the game plan and do whatever it takes to win. I'm way better than this guy. Good luck, you really deserve it. I knew that I deserved it. When I looked in the mirror, I knew that I fucking worked harder than anyone in the country, by far. When they were out on the piss, I was home. When I was training, when they were sleeping, I was done everything. Put my life into that. Come back and I've got it here. I go, I fucking done it. I won 18-5, boxed a great fight. You know, and that's a medal there. So that's probably my favourite medal, because you know, there's a lot of work goes into that one. And the next day, I woke like after I made the Olympic. Didn't have the best sleep, took a while to get to sleep. My mind was going 100 miles per hour. You're chasing it for 8 years and then it's finally there and you go, like, there's a lot of history in it. A lot of history. Eight years of hard work to make the Olympic Games. The thing about the Olympic Games is, when I made it, I was so happy. You know, I got there and everything was just a surreal feeling. Very overwhelming. Put so much of my life into making this, and I remember driving on the bus to the Olympic Village when we first landed in London. I messaged my dad on the phone, messaged him, and I'm just like, I cannot believe that this is actually happening, and just thanked him for sticking by me. He probably didn't think I'd make it and probably didn't want me to keep boxing, but I knew that I wanted to make it. I knew that I would make it. I remember that moment very vividly, and it was a great moment for me. And then I got really sick about 2 weeks before we left Australia to go to Ireland for the Olympic Games, and I don't think I recovered real well. I got really sick, and then in Ireland I just don't think I recovered, and then there was two guys that I didn't want to fight in the Olympic Games in China. The other one was the Ukraine. You know, because I studied everyone. I studied them all. I was an amateur, but I was a professional. Had all their names down, watched everyone all the time, and when we had the draw, hey, Luke, you're fighting China, and I was like, oh no, here we go. Like, just a style that doesn't suit me. A tall southpaw that runs, boxes from a distance. I like guys that stand there and train with me a little bit, or pressure me. I like that. And I remember being in the dressing room the day of the fight, just thinking, you know, I wish I could come back and do it another day, because this felt like it wasn't real. I jumped in the ring, there's like 10,000 people screaming, and I'm just looking around the ring, looking around the crowd, I'm thinking, what are you doing? Focus on the job at hand. And then the fight was over. I felt like it just clicked and it was gone, and I'd lost the fight. And I went back to the dressing room and I just cried my eyes out. You done all this work for that? Like, and you let yourself down. I trained so hard, got tired real easy, and I was swinging punches and couldn't hit him, and then I copped a good shot on the end. After the fight, I'm just like, I was just really down and devastated, and I'd announced my retirement before the Olympic Games. Like, I'd announced my retirement. Everyone knew that I was going to retire after it, because that was all I wanted. I wanted the Olympics, and then I could die, honestly. I remember the coaches coming to me and saying, Luke, I can see you're a bit upset. Do you want us to give the captaincy to someone else? I wanted to still be the captain. I've been the captain since 2010 and I wanted to finish the job. I had to swallow that pill and swallow it very quickly. You know, I manned up and put my sorrows behind me and was there for the boys, and we had a great Olympic Games. I knew I was going to fight again. My girlfriend at the time, I was worried that she might not want me to fight again, and because it's hard, you know, it's hard for anyone to be in a relationship with an athlete. Dedicated to the sport, you got to be very selfish, and that I was very selfish. I knew she would be upset. I wasn't sure how my dad would take it. I didn't really care how anyone would take it. But I remember when I told my dad, he said, look, I'm going to support you. And I told my partner at the time that I was going to, and she wasn't happy about that, and that's where all the trouble started beginning with me and her. You know, people say about this and that with the Olympics, and you know, I still to this day it's a hard pill for me to swallow because I know I could have done so much better. But you know, sometimes you know the journey is more important than the destination, and my journey to get there was unbelievable, and you know I'm very proud of myself to what I had to overcome to get there, not just with sport but with the battles I was faced in my childhood and in my life as an adult, you know, with the injuries and the setbacks, and it would have been easy to give up and walk away, but I believed in myself. You know, I'm an Olympian for life and no one can take that away from me. And you know, I'm proud of what I've done in such a short time as an amateur boxer, and proud to be the captain of the Olympic team and the Commonwealth Games team. It's just all memories, man, but a lot of it's in here. One thing that I always wanted when I was trying to make the Olympic Games, I wanted the tattoo. Growing up, I always wanted to get the Olympic rings tattoo, and wanted to get a ring made up, you know, my little trophy to myself for making it. When I missed out, I thought, oh shit, you know, it's probably never going to happen, but 4 years later when I made it, as soon as I made it, before I even went to Olympics, I thought I can start getting the ring made. Got on Google and the first one that came up was metal urges, fine jewellery and diamonds. I emailed them, said, my name's Luke Jackson, just recently qualified for the London Olympics. I'd like to get a ring made up if that's possible, an Olympic ring. Got an email reply saying, hey Luke, can you send me through your driver's licence? We get a lot of false emails requesting rings made, so he must have thought it was fake. And then straight away I got another reply from him, so sorry, I googled your name, of course would love to help, come in and see me. Name's Chris Hood, and he came up with an idea of making this Olympic ring of all different coloured diamonds, the same colours as the Olympic rings. These diamonds are from all around the world, just like the Olympic athletes, all from around the world. And he said to me, if you win a medal, I'll give you the ring for free. You know, it's like a $12,000 ring. And anyway, as you guys know, I lost my first fight at Olympics, so when I come back, he tried to still give me the ring for free. I give him $1,000, you know, just as my way of saying thank you, because he wouldn't accept anything else. So. And there's a little bit of a clean because it's been in the jewellery box for so long I don't wear it that much. On the inside of it, it's got engraved London 2012. So this ring means a lot to me. And unfortunately, about 2 years ago my house got broke into. And the scumbags stole all my jewellery. They stole this ring as well. There's a big thing on the paper, the front page of the paper. A lot of people shared it and were trying to get the ring back for me, and there was rewards offered, and eventually someone handed it into the police station, some good Samaritan, or maybe they had a change of heart. They realised that they'd done the wrong things. Luckily it's back in good hands. I started my professional career May 3rd, 2013. I was going to retire after Olympics, then I come home and my partner at the time would end up breaking up, so I had nothing to keep me occupied, so I was struggling a bit with the breakup.
My name's Grant Tassie Brown. I'm a former undefeated professional fighter and Australian representative as an amateur. Most of all, I'm one of Luke's very best friends for many, many years, and I started back in 2008. Luke obviously was at the Olympic trials. I guess he was the favourite to make the 2008 Beijing Olympics. I got the phone call from Luke, a very upset Luke, and I couldn't believe it. And yeah, that was it. It was all over. I mean, 4 years of hard work, travelling overseas, being based at AIS under Coach Bodo, which people wouldn't understand the regiment up at AIS under Coach Bodo Andreas at that time. It was all down to this last fight. Luke had to beat Paul Fleming. He beat him 3 times. You know, the script says he will beat him again. Troubles with his mind, he couldn't sleep, and he just, he come up short. So I was surprised when he called me. I really was devastated for the guy. The main thing that sticks out in my head after all this, Luke was upset. Obviously he was having a few drinks, and he just pulled me aside. He said, "Look, Taz, mate, I'm gutted. My whole life is over. This is my world has just crumbled. I wouldn't have done anything."
You let me make the Olympic Games, afterward I'll die. Let me spend some time with my family and that, and then I'll die. I've done my life. My life goal was the Olympic Games.
I'm sort of even getting a bit emotional even thinking about it, because it takes me out of that time, and I was like, man, like, this guy was just letting it on me, you know, like my life is over. It's not over, mate. You tell me what you want. I'm here. I'm giving myself to you. What do you want to bring you back? He said, well, I don't want to go back to AIS. I'm done with that. 3 years of my life. I want to come back to Tassie. I want you to train me. I said, done. What else? I said, I want to fight in front of my home crowd. I said, done. And I wanted to get him back quick. I wanted to get him a fight before the Olympics were even on. So with all the hypes of the games coming up, I didn't want him to fall into a hole, because he was in a bad way, man. Like, he was really like, he wasn't good. If he's so close, where this is it. He wins this fight, you go to the Olympics. You don't. Luke's got obviously an addictive personality, you know what I mean? So he does everything all or nothing. He was drinking a fair bit, and you know. So I organised a little amateur show, and I put Luke as the main event and got him back training, focused on a date. Because all boxers know you got to have that date in your head. So he needed that, and he won. And it all started from there. And then we find out that he's got a really bad stress fracture and he's out for a long time. It was really bad. You know, he's obviously down and out over Beijing. Then we get him back winning, and all of a sudden he's hit. Bad luck again like this, you know. So it was a tough time. Led to Luke having a lot of time on his hands, which led to him going out drinking and you know, getting in fights. I mean, any mistake that, you know, mistakes I've made in my life, I don't want Luke to make those mistakes. So I rang Luke. I rang Luke as a friend, but I rang him also as his coach. I said, Luke, I've heard enough of what's going on. It's not good, man. If you're going to keep going down this path, then I'll be your friend still, because that's forever, but I won't be there as a coach. No one would tell Luke this. I mean, a lot of people treat carefully around Luke, and because he has got a strong personality. So, but I said to him, you got to pull up. I said, you're on a drinking ban from now on. He goes, yes, coach. I think he knew he needed to be told this. After the talk, he was good. He done what I asked. He did go on a drinking ban. He did do the right thing after that. And he finally got his dream. Sure, there's a photo somewhere, and he's got his arm raised and all that. You're on your way, son, to the 2012 London Olympics. From that day, 4 years earlier, he's made it. He wanted that Olympics. After being sent to Beijing, he was going to that next Olympics. You know, Luke's not the sort of guy that was just okay with making Olympics. It wasn't a holiday. He wanted to win a medal, and he was a realistic chance of winning the medal. He came up a bit short, had an off night against a very good Chinese fighter, and that's it. The trip's over. You know, any athlete that has that build up and high, it's got to be a low. There has to be a low. In the time between missing out the Olympics to making the Olympics, he fell in love. After the Olympics, that's when sort of everything went downhill. They broke up. Yeah, Luke, this is the worst Luke's ever been.
What's the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome? And you know, and the biggest thing is fucking a relationship breakup. For me, having a breakup, you know, that affected me a lot. This whole thing is just about me being real, and everything that's affected me in my life. And you know, my mum wasn't around, and then even though my dad looked after me for many years, I've pretty much been looking after myself since I was 14 or 15 years old. You know, my dad used to go and stay at his girlfriends a lot, so I looked after myself, you know. So I learned from a young age to be able to adapt and deal with being alone. But I mean, then when I met my previous girlfriend, especially at a bad time, I met her when I was going through some shit with missing out in Beijing. So it was really good, and I was really happy, and it was probably the first person I've ever actually loved, to be honest with you. It felt good to be loved back, you know what I mean? It felt really good. And you know, and when that ended after London Olympics, at the time you don't see it, but now I do see it. I was hard to deal with, especially with my OCD back then. I didn't know what I had. She didn't know what I had. So I was hard to deal with, and My concern was making the Olympics. That's all I wanted, like, more than anything. And at the time, I wanted it more than I wanted the relationship, as bad as that sounds. Like, that's just me being real, man. Like, I wanted the Olympics more than I wanted a family. And I remember she got upset when I told her after the Olympics that, like, I prayed every day that if I made the Olympics, I could die. She's like, oh, what about us? What about, you know, if we have a family and all that? And I'm just like, I don't care about that. As bad as that may sound, but don't get me wrong, like, she done the right thing, she left, she's happy now and good on her, and I'm happy too, you know. Man, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I've been there, man, I was fucked. And then the biggest thing I've had to overcome was that. I mean, some people might think, oh, you're a pussy or whatever, and fucking, look, everyone's dealing with their own shit. That for me was hard, so I needed something to focus on, and boxing's always been that thing to keep me focused.
I think the only way Luke was going to get through it, you need to get back to boxing. But what? You've already gone to the Olympics, you've been to 2 Commonwealth Games. He was contemplating going to 3rd Commonwealth Games and being that his target. But then we're out one night, and he said, bruh, I want to turn pro. Whoa.
I felt I'd done everything I could as an amateur boxer. Olympic Games, World Championships, Commonwealth Games, you know, numerous international tournaments, beating everyone in Australia. So I decided to turn professional. I got a great opportunity to work with Billy Hussain up in Sydney at Body Punch Gym, which is a renowned coach.
So I'm really proud of the way he's been conducting himself in and out of the ring. He represents the game really well. Obviously, we can't be done without you guys, the fans. You the guys that support Luke and obviously take him to the next level. And we're just part of the journey, and we're going to enjoy the journey all together.
I went up to Sydney and I walked into this hotel thinking to myself, fuck, you really doing this, bro? Like, sitting there on the bed, and I'm like, you're 28 years old, you're single, you're staying in a shit hotel, away from your dogs, away from your family, you know, like, you've lost everything, and you're here in a little shit hole. Is this what you really want to be doing with your life? And it wasn't. I wanted to, you know, I didn't want to do that, but that's the only thing I could do that kept me sane. And then I remember my pro debut being in the dressing room, and I just go to myself, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world right now. This is where I'm supposed to be right now, and nothing else matters. And from my pro debut, I forgot about it. Done. And, you know, I can do that with anyone. I can cut people out. Do something wrong to me, I'll cut you straight out of my life. And you know, it can be a good thing, but it can be a bad thing, because sometimes you do it to the wrong people. I don't feel I can be broken by another person. I feel the only person that can beat me is myself. I'm a pretty open book, and I tell it how it is. And I mean, a lot of people know a lot about me, how I've come out about most of it and all that, but I mean, that's just me trying to help people, you know, that might be dealing with this shit. I went out there and won by knockout in the 2nd round, and that was the start of it.
The captain of the Australian London Olympic team from Hobart, Tasmania. How's this for an inspiring amateur record? 112 fights, 83 wins, 7 times Tasmanian amateur champion, 5 Australian titles, with legendary Billy Hussain from Sydney's Body Punch City making his professional win, Australia's Luke Jackson.
And then I set my goals on winning the Australian featherweight title. I got the opportunity to challenge for the Australian title against the defending champion. It's always hard to beat. I flew in 3 days before for a press conference by myself. I knew that I could beat him. The team couldn't fight for him. It didn't bother me that he had all his family and friends and that there, because I knew once we got in the ring they couldn't be there for him. Seeing in his eyes at the press conference that he looked me in the eyes and he knew that it was going to be on then. The talking was over, and I could see that he was worried. So my team was there for the weigh-in. We weighed in, and I seen in his eyes again, like he tried to put his head on my head, and I just laughed, like smiled at him, like I knew then, like he was worried. He knew that it was on. The whole game plan was to box and move. This is why I love my coach Billy Hussain. He reads a fight very well. He reads a fighter very well. So when we got into the ring, my whole game plan, the whole camp, 8 weeks, was boxing and moving. Will Young's a pressure fighter, but we got in the ring and Billy seen something in Will's eyes, and he told me straight away, whispered in my ear, he goes, jump on him. Billy told me to jump on him, so I jumped on him, and he was moving, he was running. And the 2nd round, I caught him with the right hand, and I swear to God, I don't know how he got up. He hit the deck hard, and the gloves they gave me to wear were like pillows. They wouldn't let me wear my custom gloves that my sponsor gave me, so if I had had my gloves on, he wouldn't have got up. You know, credit to Will Young, tough fighter. He had his family there, and that's why he got up, and he gave me a tough fight. But yeah, won the title. Always wanted to fight here in Hobart as a professional. That was the next goal. fight here in Tassie, you know, bring boxing back here. The support was unbelievable, man. I remember walking out to the crowd and it's just a surreal moment. It give you goosebumps, you know, walking out to City Hall and there's just all these people there screaming for you. And I was fighting a tough fighter, Natalie Manakane from Indonesia, former world title challenger, fought for a world title. But I stopped him in the 3rd round with a body shot. I remember there was heaps of young kids and people there that wanted to stay and get photos with me afterwards, and I think I stayed back at the venue for like an hour and a half taking photos and signing some stuff for people. And I remember the Mercury guy took a photo of from up on the thing and he posted it on his Facebook saying, "Give credit to Luke, he's a good guy." He stayed back and made sure everyone got a picture. Everyone that wanted a picture got a picture. Everyone that wanted something signed got a sign. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I stay back? You know, these people come pay money to watch me fight. That to me is unbelievable. People message me on Facebook, of course I'm going to write back. I don't think I'm special. I'm a person. I work hard for what I've got and I'll give my time to anyone, you know. Of course I'm going to stay back and sign everyone's bloody shit that they want me to sign or take a photo. I stay there all day. That to me, that's what it's about, man. I just love the support that people give me. And people want to come and watch me fight. If I have 100 fights and you come to one and support me, I'll always remember that. It means a lot to me. You know, showing support, you know, being loyal. Loyalty is massive to me. You know, if you haven't got loyalty, you got nothing, man. My breathing used to be real bad, like I always felt like I had to catch my breath. Doing something like that, it's hard to explain. I think it's maybe when I'm out of my routine, and whereas at home I'm up every day at the same time. I eat at the same time breakfast, I have coffees at the same time, I train, like everything's run on a schedule. That's the way I live my life and that's the way it works for me, whereas here I'm a bit up and down and taking my medication at a different time of the day. I know it'll pass and I'm just trying to stay relaxed, and it's just another test really, isn't it? It's just another test to something trying to break you. Hopefully tomorrow it's a better day, or the day after that. As long as it's okay on fight night, it'll be good. Yesterday my breathing wasn't too bad, but Wednesday was one of the worst days I've had. I think it's just when you're by yourself a lot, which I isolate myself a lot. I'm up here now, got a little bit of company and, you know, talking to people and getting coffees and chilling out, and I guess it takes my mind off stuff that I'm thinking about. Whereas if I was here by myself, I'd be just constantly thinking about stuff. I see my psychiatrist when I go back home. I see him every 2 months or so and just touch base with him. If it wasn't for the good people I got in my life, I wouldn't have even went and seen him. It's just that I'm starting to control it a little bit more, and my weight's good. I was 62 kilos this morning. If I had overthought it and thought, shit, you know, I'm not doing what I usually do for a day, you know, the world's gonna end or something, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be here for my boxing, as hard as it is, it's not forever. I just look forward to winning this fight on March 5th and then sitting down with everyone and having a burger and a nice feed at the Winston, or a solo pasta, go down there and have a Jacko special pasta dish that they made in my honour. So, sitting down eating good food with good people and celebrating success, man. That's all I want to do, and that's the only thing that sort of keeps you going when you're away like this.
I mean, he's fought in Cuba, he's fought in Russia, he's fought all over eastern side of Russia and in Asia. He's been to that many countries.
All around the world, you know, 43 countries, and these passes, so what they are is that when you go to each tournament, like credentials to be able to get access to the change rooms and maybe the weigh-in, and I just kept them all because they're a part of history, man. The Commonwealth Games, my first big international tournament where I won a bronze medal. At the AIS, everything's locked in, it's like a fucking jail. So you need a pass to get into everywhere. So you got to always have this on this. Everything's security coded. So Commonwealth Games, India. This is the World Boxing Championships, one of the hardest tournaments as amateur boxer. Second behind the Olympic Games. You know, you got the Cubans, the Russians, Ukraine. They're all there, all wanting to take your head off. In between that, so you got all these tournaments. So these are all different tournaments. You know, Finland, Germany, Czech Republic. We've got a heap here, but the main one, the Olympic Games. There's not too many of these getting around. Have a look at that. They backed me from day one. I owe a lot to them. Played a massive part in helping me rebound after missing out on the 2008 Olympics. Here we've got some suits. I believe I should have 2 Olympic ones, but Paul Fleming have got the other umbrella. Hope you enjoy wearing it. So this is my first one, the 2006 Commonwealth Games. And we've got my second one, the 2010 Commonwealth Games in India. And the one that means the most to me, the Olympic Games. You know, I don't think I'd ever wear it again unless I was going to maybe a dress-up party. I could go as an Olympian, couldn't I? So, you know, that's the London Olympic Games fight jersey. I think that's the one I actually fought in at the Olympics. There's so much stuff, man. People forget this, that I was a champion at both weights, 57 and 60 for 10 years, you know. Unbeaten in Australia since 2005, so that speaks for itself. People think there's some secret. There's no secret, it's called hard work. You know, everyone's trying to look for shortcuts. There is no shortcuts. Come down under the house, I'll show you the rest of it. These are the boots in the Olympic Games. Obviously I've trained in them a lot because I only got to fight one fight in them. Jackets from Cuba. How's that, huh? That, as an athlete, that's what it's all about. Representing your country. I told them they'd know about my name. Huh? Look at that. That's been everywhere. That's fought all around the world. Keep that out and I'll train in that tonight. 43 countries I've been to, all around the world. And I tell you what, this is the best place on earth, man. Tasmania.
Without a doubt.
We are blessed to live here.
Best place in the world.
You know, seeing the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China. Colosseum, been in the Colosseum in Italy, you know, Niagara Falls in Canada, you know, I've been to some places, man.
He trained every day in the gym at home, in my garage. We used to have to pull the cars out every night, put them back in, pull them out of the morning, put them back in. But he trained, just trained and kept training. It got me to get some plaques made up for him, you know, like hard work and all this sort of stuff. That's where he trained to get to 2006 Commonwealth Games, and he just trained and trained. With the next Commonwealth Games and then the next Olympics. He trained in the garage at home. Trained himself. Unbelievable.
And people go, what are you trying to do now? You know, then you've got to set your goals again. It was to win the Australian title as a professional. Done that. Now it's a regional title. Hopefully do that March 5th. And then it's a world title. But it's one step at a time.
His dedication to what he does is out of this world. No other kid I know do what he does. You know, you see some great athletes. Not just because he's my son either, he's a great athlete in his own right. I believe he's got a lot more to do with his career as a boxer, and maybe make a bit of money.
It's never been about the money. If it was, I would have given up a long time ago.
Yeah.
Could we say, what's your favourite day? My favourite day is fight day. Fight day, I've weighed in the night before. She's nice and warm in here. This is Josh Inglis, my good friend. He was down here my last homecoming in Tassie. He hasn't even got a fight coming up, so there's no need for him to actually be in the sauna, but big respect to Josh Inglis, which is about to become, hopefully, a 2016 Olympian. He's got trials in about 2 weeks.
I think his last 4 fights have been sort of part of the team, sort of come into the inner circle that he's got going. I'm here again for fight night, so I've got the Olympic trials coming up. I'm in the final process of that, so.
Josh was going to retire probably a year ago. He wanted to throw the sport away after missing out on London Olympics. By one point, you know, he felt like giving up, so we invited him down to Tassie, and since then I've seen something change in him, and the way he approaches every training camp and the way he trains is very similar to me. Like, the guy's a workhorse, man. He's a fucking workhorse, and he's turned it around, and from someone that was going to give up a year ago to on the verge of making the Olympic Games, he's a credit to himself, mate. And you know, he made the World Championships last year, and like I said, it's easy to walk away. It happened to me, I nearly walked away. If I can do it, he can do it.
I've been mates with Jacko since probably 17, so 31 this year, so it's 14 years.
But he's seen me at my worst, and I've seen him at his worst. We're still here for each other. It's about people want to ride the limo, but will they ride the bus with you? I'm proud of him from where he's come and where he is now. It was only a few months ago he was in a really bad way, in a bad headspace. You know, I said to him, look, best thing to do is train and stop drinking. start feeling good about yourself, and that's what's happened. Feel good. Well, let's not fuck around. Let's not fucking sugarcoat it. I feel like shit. Moment of truth. Here we go. I made the weight. Featherweight, baby. That's it, guys. I made the weight. Freshen up in the pool now. Go home, have a shower. Official weigh-in, 6 o'clock. Thanks for the support. See you tomorrow night.
Luke Jackson. 57, even. Stay there, Jacko.
Do you want to stand here? I can move out.
You can just relax and pretend you're not.
You can relax.
Feel good.
Obviously, coming into your next big fight, it's a bit of a step up in opponent. Your opponent's actually had 3 world title fights.
I've got everyone around me that supported me, and I get to sleep in my own bed tonight. So for me, that is the best feeling in the world, and you know, I'm forever thankful. The people of Tasmania that have come out and support me, and I'm forever grateful.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was good.
Thanks, Luke.
You smashed it. Good luck trying to talk to the rest of these blokes. You know what I mean? They'll give you one-word answers, these guys.
John Mark Apollinario, 56.6. Matt Trippett, 72 even.
Good.
Beautiful. Well, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow and hope you do well.
Good work. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Remember how Luke was saying that he sort of taught me how to give the sport away, and when they cut me from the Com Games, like, I was just going to throw it all in, I was over it, but he got me down to Tasmania, he took me under his wing. I sort of found a new passion for the sport, and that was the before and after when I was going to give the sport away. And obviously when I made weight and won my 3rd Australian title, so
cool.
I can honestly say he's been a massive influence on my career. And he's been a massive influence on a lot of people's careers. So
I've gone and had a nice feed and I've gone to bed. I get to wake up that day. I'm not hungry, I'm not thirsty, I'm full. And that day I get to do what I do. There's nothing else matters to me that day. I just relax, man. Whatever happens next, man, that's it. So I want to go in there and have fun and destroy this guy. That's what I want to do. You can't anticipate what's going to happen in a boxing match. So. Hey boys.
Good luck tonight, brother. What's going on, brother? How are you, bro?
Hey, Darran, how are you?
I've seen you somewhere.
Nice hat, mate.
Brother, everything in front of plays vision. You gotta look at their feet. Read. Take 1 round at a time. Forget there's 10 rounds. Fight starts in round 1, brother. Nice, relax, brother. Smile at the office, mate.
When you walk out to the ring, it's a real good feeling. It's hard to beat that feeling. Walking out to the ring and nothing else matters. You're not worrying about anything. You're not stressing about this person, that person. You're not stressing about bills. You're not stressing about nothing. All you're thinking about is going out to do your job. To watch a fight, it's a fucking crazy feeling, man. Dead set crazy. But when you get in the ring and the music stops and they're calling your names and then you're looking over at your opponent. Like, the hardest part for a boxing match is waiting for the referee to say touch gloves. And seconds out and then let's go. That's the hardest part. The rest of it's like, obviously hard, but that's the main part that really gets your nerves up.
grab Lily.
That's it, mate. What a fucking hill.
Congratulations.
Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. You guys motivate me daily to be the best I can be. I thank all of you for coming out supporting myself and the future of boxing. My father, without my dad, I wouldn't be here today. Dad, thank you very much, mate. My mum, wherever you are, my brothers and sisters, I love you all. You guys support me and back me, like, it's unbelievable. And I promise you, Lily, I'll give you a new belt. There you go, Darran.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trojan Jackson.
The doctors wanted me to pull out the fight 2 weeks ago, but I can't pull out of a fight when I'm the main attraction. I've sold a lot riding on the line here. So I needed to fight and we found a way to win. The doctor said that I'm not using it at all, and there's a chance that it could tear and then have to have surgery. So.
You mentioned you were going through some things the last couple of weeks. Is that the main thing?
No, there's some other stuff. I suffer with OCD very badly and I've been getting on top of it, but lately it's taken over and it's starting to affect me again. I see a psychiatrist once every few months. My most memorable moment in the ring, there's a couple of them. I'll go back to my first fight a lot, obviously that's the beginning of it. 2003 up at New Norfolk, I fought a guy named Caden Moore. He recently messaged me on Facebook and I just said congratulations that I've come a long way since our first fight, and we had a bit of a chat, so it was good to hear from him. But a little bit of concussion after my first fight, so it was a good entrance to boxing. Obviously winning the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games in 2006. I beat some good guys for that tournament. I beat a guy named Nicholas Walters from Jamaica. He's now world champion in the professionals. I beat him easy. Sharif Bogheri from Uganda. I fought him for the bronze medal, and that's a big moment for me, you know, winning a bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games. That's history. I fought on top of the world, man, but I was only a kid mentally. I still hadn't been broken by Bodo then, you know, like I wasn't a man yet. People think, oh, when you get 22, 23, you're a man. You're not, you know. It's when you get older, you start to understand a little bit more. I've got a lot of growing up to do still. I'm 31, you know, tomorrow I'm 31, my birthday tomorrow. Where's the time gone, man? Keep working, guys. Here we go, face the mirror. Everyone face the mirror and do it now, yeah? Face the mirror, back and forth, just keep doing what you're doing. And what they're doing now is slowing it down and doing the correct techniques right. You know, this is where you learn the basic fundamentals and you can transfer it then to the punching bag, trainer pads, and then sparring, and then hopefully the fight. Not that these guys will ever fight, but that's what my gym's about. My gym's about teaching the correct techniques, boxing that got me to the Olympic Games. You know, I get a lot of motivation from these guys. As you can see, the whole class, they're pretty much, they're female, and most of them have kids, and they come to the gym, they bring their kids, and the kids sit in there and they train and they go about their business, and they don't let nothing hold them back, man. They're credit to themselves, and it makes my job easy. Let's go, guys. Face this way, Janie. Face this straight ahead, please. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Elbows in. Toes forward. 10 seconds. Come on.
One day there, he sent me a text. I knew there was something wrong, and I drove straight to his place. Went in and found him in a mess. And that's when I finally got him to go and see someone.
You know, so that's when he made me go and see his doctor. Then he put me on to see a psych,
and now he's a lot different person. Finally got him on the right medication. He can deal with life a lot better. Whereas before, it was just making him worse if anything, because they treated him for the wrong thing. It was a bad time for him.
After the Olympics, when I got back and I had to go see the doctor because it was enough, and my local GP diagnosed me with anxiety. He thought that the breathing thing was an anxiety attack. He put me on paroxetine, so I was on that for about 5 or 6 years. And I seen a a different doctor, which sent me to a psychiatrist. And then they said the breathing thing wasn't anxiety, it was an obsessive thing that I kept doing. I was obsessing over breathing, and I was obsessing trying to catch my breath. As stupid as that sounds, it's crazy, I know, like, but it's like I was obsessing about trying to catch my breath. I couldn't catch my breath, I'd go insane. Now I'm on sertraline. I've got my tablets Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Pills aren't the only thing that help, and this is what I'm just learning now with my psychologist as well. I see a psychiatrist every couple of months. I see OCD specialist. She's teaching me things of how to beat it. So if I can give you an example. This control here, this is where I like to put my control there. So if it sits there like that, it just does my head in. My table, see how it's lined up with the lines here? So that would annoy me. What she's trying to do is she's trying to beat the problem. My breathing, we've got to start at the root of the problem. So what she's telling me to do to try and train my OCD is to do that and leave it there and just deal with it. Things like this, like the toilet paper. Like I'm big on having the toilet roll over. Crazy, I know. She's want me to do this way and just deal with it. As much as it annoys me, I've got to deal with it. Because I want to beat it. I'm not going to let OCD take over my life anymore. You know, not many of you know this, but an hour before my WBA Oceania title fight, I was mopping the floors. I was here vacuuming, cleaning everything up, and I had to go and fight still, you know. So one of my traits that I got to do every day. After my morning run, clean my house, having 2 dogs, does my head in that there's hair everywhere. Could be worse though, couldn't it? Some young lady who, you know, she won't have to clean up, I'll do it for her. This is Chevy, he's that's Inca. Hey, it's just what I do. See, that's annoying me. That is annoying the shit out of me. You know, another thing with the money, like all my eyelets line up, and they've got to be in order of like 50s, 20s, 10s and 5s. You know, I'm confident I can beat it with the help of the good people around me. I'm sure I will. As I say, man, tough times don't last, tough people do. It's okay to have a shit day. Look, it's all good. Tomorrow can be a better day. This is from the Olympics. It's 2012 Olympics in London. As soon as people come in, they see Pacquiao, one of the greatest fighters ever, 8-time world champion. Miguel Cotto, one of my favourite fighters. My favourite Floyd Mayweather. Went and watched his last fight in Vegas. Something I always wanted to do, go over to Vegas and watch his last fight in September this year. It's a real moment being over there and actually watching him live. Undefeated, highest paid athlete in sports history. Costa Zoo, it's a guy I looked up to. This is when he fought Ricky Hatton in England. This is Costa's last fight, so I was very upset. He lost that fight, so I felt for him. So I was very upset. Here, Ricky Hatton, that's the one that beat Costa Zoo. That's Ricky Hatton and Costa Zoo. And the last one in here is Edwin Valera. There's a lot of history behind this one. This is probably my favourite piece. Edwin Valera from Venezuela. He's 27 fights, 27 wins, 27 knockouts. So undefeated, knocked everyone out. Lightweight, WBC champion. He had a bit of a troubled past, and he unfortunately he let it beat him. It's got some history, that piece. Could be worth a bit of money in some years to come. And I've got a photo for Young Achiever of the Year award. This is when we had Will Hodgman come out, the Premier of Tasmania, come out and open the gym on open day. It was great to have someone like Will come out and you know, give us his time. It was a good day. I like having a lot of gloves. Boxing's my job. These are Everlast gloves, heavy 20 ounce for sparring. Competition gloves, so 8 ounce lace ups. These are custom ones they made for me. If you ever wonder why people get knocked out in the professionals, you try a set of these on. Once they wrap your hands, there's nothing in them. You have to be very careful. These are winnings from Japan, made in Japan. My first pair of winnings, blood and all that sort of stuff on them. They're very old. I guess it's like ladies with their shoes. They like shoes, I like gloves. So it just depends how I feel. If my hands are a bit sore, I'll wear the big ones. If my hands are feeling okay, I'll wear the smaller ones. You gotta look after your body. You gotta wrap your hands proper every day. You get a lot of young kids wanting to come and train with you and do the things with you. First test is seeing if they can get out of bed. So you tell them 5 AM, meet me. Meet me here, 5 AM, let's go, see what they got. So you take them for a run, and you tell them come back at 2 o'clock for boxing. So they come back at 2. They might come back the first day, they might not. But just say they do, which they have done. You know, they might be able to do it for a week. and then they drop off. You know what I mean? They get sick. It's hard. It's hard for them. It's easy for me. Some mornings I'll go for a run, I might have 6 people with me. Monday morning I might have 6 people. Come Tuesday morning it's by myself again. Key to the success is consistency. Consistency. Every day. If you don't feel like doing it, but you still do it, that shows my heart and some balls. There's days I don't feel like training, but I do it. I'm just going to stay here all day and do this. If I didn't have to be anywhere, you know, if I didn't have to run my business and that, I'd just stay and train all day. If I didn't have to go and feed me dogs at home. You get a lot of people wanting to come train. 2 weeks later, they're gone. But then after a few months, I'll message you again. Oh, do you mind if I can come and start training again? I'll let them, of course. I'll let them come. Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know why they stop coming. Maybe it's something I don't know. Maybe some shit they're going through. So always give people, you know, a second chance, man. Second, third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance, sixth chance. What happened if fucking people give up on me the first time I fucked up? You know? What happens if the first time I stuffed up, my dad give up on me? That would have been easy. So you can't give up on people, man. You gotta stick it out. You can't give up on yourself. That's one thing. People do that, you know. I don't need someone to tell me to train. What I need is someone to tell me not to train. I need someone to tell me to ease back. You know, don't go too crazy, Luke. I don't do nothing else. Just want to train. Train. I train all day. I love it.
When I met Luke, I wasn't at a good place in my life. So my husband had died. I've been left with 3 kids under 5. The last thing now, most people, when you know you tell them your husband passed away, is, you know, oh sorry to hear that. Well, I think Luke just swore for the first 5 minutes. He was so honest. It was so refreshing. He's like, that's really bad. Like, and no one really articulated it like that. So straight away, I just like his honesty, his rawness, and literally after he finished saying what he needed to say, he's like, right, okay, this is the plan then. We're just going to wreck you. So you've got no other option but to sleep. I not only found a really beautiful friend, but also boxing. My message for Luke in the future would be, when he reaches where he wants to, that he enjoys success. He really relaxes and enjoys it, and gives himself a pat on the back, because he's done it on his own.
This is my strength coach, Joey Edwards.
I've known Luke for coming up 6 years, I think. I really started hanging out with him post-Olympics. He sent me a message saying that he's quitting boxing. He wanted to start getting in the gym a bit more, and he only quit boxing for about 2 weeks. I started taking him for all his weights, and then further down the track, ended up living with him. We used to come around to watch the boxing on a Sunday, and we used to play tricks on him, like moving the remote or leaving stuff out of place, and it was kind of funny. But I guess it probably wasn't as bad back then, and he's always had it, like being super clean and stuff, or having to vacuum the house before he leaves, or little things like that. Now, we were in the gym the other week doing sit-ups, and he had to stop. Now I see it as, well, shit, that must be a real problem. The way he explained it to me was he couldn't stop thinking about himself taking a breath. Like, couldn't get your mind off like what you're doing, taking a breath. Bizarre. I don't understand what kind of effect it would have. Like anyone else, I don't understand. And I guess when it starts to have a real negative impact on what you're doing day to day or whatever, that's when you probably need to get help, which I'm glad that he's doing. It's been there probably his whole life. He may never beat it, but it will be much more manageable than what it has been. That's what I hope to see, yeah.
With his dedication and his meticulous work he puts in inside the gym and outside the gym, he's just an animal, man. And you know, with his dedication and with his work ethic and everything, you know, there's only good things going to come for him. It's finally good to be in the same gym and not have to worry about fighting each other. We're teammates now, and all the pressure's off for us, and you know, we can just support each other and wish each other the best and help each other out, and that's the beauty of it, man. If you told me in 2007 we'd be training in the gym together and we'd be gym partners and that, I would have laughed at you. But now we're working together and helping each other out, and you know, the sky's the limit for both me and him.
Here we are. I've got the belt. Nothing's changed. Straight back in the gym, working hard for the next fight, whenever that may be. Like I said before, I don't have to need a fight to motivate me. I don't need anything to motivate me. I like to be in the gym and train. It's my medicine. Keeps me sane. Probably heard me say before, life is hard, boxing is easy for me. You know, and what I meant by that was, you know, since a young age I've been suffering OCD, and recently it's been taking over my life again. Going into that fight, probably the worst it's been in a long time. So very hard to be around. I get very aggravated easily, get agitated easily, and I lose my temper very quickly. And it wears me out, it stresses me out, and it's so stupid that you'd think that trying to breathe would be easy, but sometimes it's not. But you know, when I say boxing is easy, life is hard, that's what I meant by it, and that's what I'm starting to learn about. I see an OCD specialist every Monday. She's making me understand and learn a lot about it. It's crazy, you can't explain it. It's very, very hard to deal with, and so I now have to try and beat this where it started at the grassroots. So, but you know, at a young age I learnt the ability to be able to adapt to any situation. That's what I done. March 5th, I adapted and I got the win and managed to come away with the WBA Oceania title, and now it's just about getting my head right and becoming a better fighter and a better person. You know, obsess about everything. Can't run 6.1 Ks, it's got to be 6 Ks or 7 Ks. I can't run 6.5 Ks. So I'm saying about, I have to run like 6 Ks. It's either got to be 6 Ks or 7 Ks. It can't be 6.1 or something like that, or 6.2. If I run over 6.1, then I've got to run another K and do 7 Ks. So it's very frustrating in your head, but it doesn't happen often, but every now and again I'll be thinking about something else that'll go over and then I'll go do another K. That's very frustrating. Everything's got to be perfect. That's the reason I'm where I am today. I'm obsessed with being the best I can be, and that's why I come out and spoke about it. And you know, I've had a lot of people contact me. I wrote a statement, I put it out to the media. I've had a lot of people asking questions about my OCD. Some ask, what is it? How does it make you feel? Some know how I feel and understand what it is like to live with OCD. It affects all aspects of your life: relationships, family, friends, work, training, and much more. I've had many symptoms over the years. It started at a very young age. First with touching things, then numbers, especially number 7. Then I went to cleaning as I got older. Then it turned to negative thoughts, and since 2007 it's been my breathing. I try to catch a breath, and if I can't catch it, I get frustrated. If I can catch it, I'm fine, and I go about my day. But if I can't, I spend the whole day trying to catch my breath until I go to sleep. As soon as I wake up, I'm trying to catch my breath again. This gets very frustrating, makes me anxious, and is really stressful. You would never think breathing would be so hard, right? Some days are great, some days are bad. Some days are so bad that I just want to sleep and forget the world. I wake up just wanting to go back to sleep. I find myself wishing my life away. I obsess about everything. I create scenarios and problems in my head that don't happen or never will happen, and I find it very difficult to stop thinking about them. I can go for months without any symptoms, and then bang, it creeps up behind you and takes control of your life again. I've dealt with this since a very young age and managed to survive and achieve many great things. I believe without my OCD, I wouldn't have made the Olympic Games. I wouldn't have my own house, I wouldn't have my own business, and I wouldn't be the WBA Oceania champion. It helps me train very hard, and I'm obsessed with my training. This is why I've achieved what I have in boxing. I've taken medication for many years, but recently it has begun to take over my life again. I've sought help from my professionals, my GP, a psychologist, and a psychiatrist to help manage my symptoms, and I encourage anyone who is struggling with OCD or any type of mental illness to do the same. Many people think mental illness is weak and people with it are not strong. I dare anyone to walk in my shoes for a week and see if you can handle it. I know I'm strong and I know I'll get through it. It's okay to have bad days and it's okay to not be okay. But it's never okay to give up. Tough times don't last, tough people do. You know, I'm pretty happy where my career is at the minute. Hopefully this time next year I'm sitting here telling you that I'm 14-0, about to challenge for a major world title in 2017. Whether that happens or not, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to work my ass off and try and get it. And anyone that knows me in the gym, if you've seen me train, they know I'll bust my ass. Boxing's easy, life's hard, you know. Life's hard. I know if I do what I'm supposed to do, I can get it done. But if it's meant to be or not, you know, I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm meant to sit here right now and do this. It's already laid out. My path's laid out, I just got to follow it and work hard. You're supposed to do something with your life, and this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to make the Olympic Games. I'm supposed to be an Australian champion. I'm supposed to own my own boxing gym. Am I supposed to be a world champion? We don't know. I work hard, and if that's meant to be, that'll happen. If I don't, that's okay. And as long as you try, man, don't be scared of failure. You gotta take a leap of faith sometimes. But hey, if it was easy, everyone would do it. If I put my mind to something, it'll happen. You know, if you believe in it, it'll happen. I believed in being a boxer, so that's why I'm here. I believed in running my own gym, that's why I'm here. And yeah, we'll see what the future holds, man. It's been a crazy ride, man, and it's not over yet. We'll carry the name, the Jackson name, we're carrying it through. People know about our name, don't they? So, you know.
Fucking oath.
They know about our name. Before we get started, I want to thank Darran for doing this. I've got a lot of respect for him, and I thank you for doing this for me, Darran, and hopefully you guys can get something out of it. So we'll see what it looks like then.
Thanks, Luke.
Well, we all blow out as fighters between fights, and the big fella over there, me and him went on a trip to Vegas last year before his last fight, and he was a big boy. But that was a great trip, so another one of our many memories in Vegas, 2015.
Hope you guys are enjoying behind the scenes footage of Darran Petty Films. Flying all the way to Sydney to get some behind the scenes footage for you guys.
Luke hasn't had coffee yet.
I need a coffee.
And I've got the camera in his face.
That's this. Me and my dad, I didn't pick it up until today. You know that video? Look, we're both wearing the same fucking top.
Yeah, I know.
Black with the white tee.
Yeah.
Black polo top, black.
That was awesome.
Fuck it, I was watching this and I'm like, fuck.
That looked cool.
I wouldn't pick it, mate.
It's good, bro.
It's good we got that little scene, huh? Coppers. I thought they would come for you, bro. I'm here and I've seen your face. I think fuck, Petty's about to get fucked.
That's on.
Look at the shape of me.
Come here. Do it. Talk it up.
You think I'm messing? Have a look at the fucking shape of me. 2 weeks out from the fight and I'm in shape.
We are going to jail 100%.
Where's the tools at, Polly?
You gotta wrap them tools, mate. Look after your hands and then look after you. Take two.
He's gone like that. He's gone like that. Yeah. Alright, my fucking arms. Luke Jackson's had a pull out of his fight because Adrian Lovelace hit him on the elbow.
Graham Brown has just killed Adrian Lovelace.
And it's all on camera.
Pitbull Promotions is finished.
Luke,
They just got married.
It's not all boxing.
This fangirl taking pictures. Look at the shape of me. This bike is a joke. 7 Ks to the gym, 7 Ks back every day. There she is, Mazza. Mazza, have a look at you. What you got to say for the camera? What you got to say for yourself? What do you reckon, Petty?
It's not a Harley.